Children today live in an electronic world. Computers, videos, a large number of TV stations, internet, broadband, and mobile communication, streaming, all is possible. Children are the ones that, quick as lightning, learn the new technology. Children today are more intelligent than previously. Unfortunately for me, and maybe for you, and one of the reasons lies in the use of media from early age. Use of game, no matter what game it is, train the brain nerves pathways so that they are functioning well when they begin to learn at school. Children today are looked at. Today we look at children as human beings. We look at them as independent individuals, and childhood is a time with its own value. We want to show as much variety and difference as possible in our program, as much as in the real life. Children as human beings means that we present the children and adults as equal partner and not from a top-down angle. Children have rules in which their point of views, wishes, and suggestions are taken seriously. Children should have the opportunity to master as much as possible. We want to give them roots so they know where they come from, and wings so they can fly. Lives children on screen sounds obvious, but it's not. Animated figures are much easier to dub. Norwegian is a small language and in a global context. If you don't hear your own language, you don't speak it. That's why it is important to make programs with your own children on screen as actors, presenters, and as main characters in documentaries. What we offer the child helps them to strengthen their identity, their language, and their cultural roots. The smaller the language and cultural area are, the more important this is. And in the player NRK TV, you can also stream all previous programs produced for NRK for the last 60 years. So I can go into this platform and watch myself as a presenter 50 years ago. I've changed a little bit. Yeah. And NRK Super, the children's channel, experienced that more and more of the children's viewing take place on the player. So they have completely dropped the schedule, and they are in a kind of forefront on trying to do this. So they have TikTok and YouTube and everything. And I tell you, the priority, build on your brand that children know from before. A lot of quantity. If you make a series, you have to have a number of episodes and seasons. And of course, if you find a new concept with worldwide interest, that is good. I will give you 4 examples. The minibar. If they are bringing a puppet that the toddlers really know, and they make some very simple programs. Up to now, 4 seasons, 6 episodes of 17 minutes.
And we are actually very interested in digital transformation, this topic. So my first question is actually this, that how digital transformations has impact to kids' contents, especially for the industry players and of your countries and also your business awards.
The scheduled program is gone. The future, maybe half a year or 1 year, and then there will something new will be coming, yeah? Is to publish everything on the net, with the player, and then you have to learn them from the beginning, from they are very small, and they watch on the iPads and mobile and everything. They watch television, and which means that a program like the Mini Kids is usually the first program the children watch. And it's a Norwegian narration, and in the Lappish country part, it's a Lappish narration. And so you have to feed them with programs for the right age and try to keep them as long as you manage. And usually they drop around 10, 12, 13, 14, then it's not good for them to watch the program that their parents advise them to watch. Then they want to watch something else. But if you have fed them in the beginning, maybe, usually they will come back when they settle down and have their own family, and maybe they bring the children into the same NRK super universe. So I think this is a long bridge that you have to build, and you have to use the parents' experience from when they was young to bring this experience into the children's mind and the way they watch television. So it's not done like that, even if the changes are like that. You have to spend years to build this relationship, I think.
Whether that's the commercial networks or the public broadcasters, because that's where the kids are, they also want to have a presence on social media where the audience are, and that might mean that that is a promotional tool to send to give the audience, to give kids a taste of a show, to then send them back to the streaming platform. They'll make some content that is specifically for those social media platforms to build the engagement. So they're trying all sorts of different things. I think the other interesting transformation in the digital space for the producers and the content creators is that all bets are off. It doesn't matter what episode length you have. It doesn't matter how long a series run needs to be in the streaming world. So in children's television, it used to always be about 26 by half-hour episodes or 52 by 12 minute in animation. Now it can be the format length and the episode length that works best for the story that you want to tell. Single standalone episodes we're finding don't work. The audience want to be more actively engaged and build a relationship with the characters.
To my second question, to all of you, because we know TVO operates 8 YouTube channels, and this is for the 24 hours and 7 days a week. So how do you see any difference in terms of operation strategy or content strategy? You operate TV channels and also YouTube channels.
Well, at TVO, when we started our YouTube channels, again, you started with just the regular TVOKids. Then we realized that we had the rights for Paw Patrol, so we started a Paw Patrol YouTube channel. But the primary difference is that because our linear channel had no advertising, we decided that neither would our YouTube channels. So that was unique to work with YouTube to say we don't want to make money, because they thought, what? Like everybody, and it's not that we wouldn't want money. It was just you were following the brand and the consistency of who your reputation was. So how will you suggest as a content, like a kids content producers, how we can do any quality like kids programs
of like a TV station or streaming media, and to attract more kids from the short format, short entertainment format, because we know that those short format videos might squeeze kids' times on educational contents. So how we can win back from kids to spend more times on the educational programs or contents?
I think on YouTube, it's interesting, was always short form content, but the data from YouTube now is, and the conversations with them now are they do want longer form content to keep the audience on the platform longer so they don't switch off, go off to another program. The challenge always with all of those platforms is having a channel that kids know, because we know for us we get a lot of people pitching projects for YouTube, but the question is how are kids going to find it? With the millions of new shows that go on YouTube every week from around the world, how do they find it? So that's where broadcasters come in. If you've got a brand, which is what Kalle was saying earlier, if you've got a brand, if you build on that brand and you take that brand to YouTube and that's where you curate that content, then the kids are going to find you. And it's the same on TikTok, a channel that the kids already know and engage with, and having a known brand. And in kids' TV, what Marney was just saying, it's also about the expectations of parents and families, that content is curated no matter what the platform is that it's on.
Does OTT platform and broadcaster has different approach to kids' contents in terms of serialized or episode show format?
When we would launch a new show, it would go online on any possible place that we could have that full show. It would all go out the very same day. Other Canadian broadcasters wouldn't necessarily release the shows that same way. The reality is that we also, because we would have had all the online rights, we could put 6 episodes up at once on our website or on YouTube, or we could put one at a time. That again played out depending upon time and place. Was it episodic? Like we've had, some like All Around Champion was a sports, kind of a reality show. So you didn't want, it was only one a week because you didn't want to wreck how it was, the excitement that was building around that story. But if it was just regular episodes, then we wanted them to try binge watching. So you would often release them all, like I might have put 6 episodes online, even though linear broadcast was still only doing 1 a week. So, and then sometimes it also gets tied up in what rights you had. So it is everybody would have a different strategy, in Canada at least.
Yeah, with ABC in Australia, with the drama series, they tend to, on linear, they're doing them either 1 a day, generally, as the first release, but on the first day, dropping the whole series on their video on demand service. So you can have, depending on where the audience are, you have both options. And I think if I got the question right as well, it was also about serialised, like whether it's changed with the OTT and streaming platforms. In kids, we used to have the question asked by broadcasters, can the episodes be shown out of order? The episodes stood alone much more, and they might have a very faint serialised element to them. Certainly now, in our experience with all of the major SVODs, in kids, they're very much looking for that serialised element to keep the audience watching and coming back to the show. They don't want them to be able to jump off and go, oh, well, it doesn't matter if I don't come back to it for another 2 weeks, and then may never come back. They want that serialised element, that hook at the end of every episode that makes you want to come back and watch the next episode, whether it's tomorrow or whether it's immediately, depending on the kid's schedule. They really do like that serialised element at the moment. But again, it's one of those things that changes over time as the digital space evolves and broadcasting evolves. We might find in the future they go back to wanting standalone episodes. I'm never going to place money on what they're going to want in future.
Is any secret sauce of kids' contents or programs?
If there was a secret sauce, we'd all be making great content every single time. There's no way of predicting what's going to work and what's not. You have to use your judgment and your knowledge of the audience and your knowledge of kids. I think the secret sauce is spend a lot of time with children and get to know them and get to know their world and their lives and their likes and their dislikes and the stage they're at and all those sorts of things. All of that informs your content